Kevin Hart, $450 million. Bruno Mars, $175 million. Tom Cruise, $600 million.
$600 million.
Mark Wahlberg, $400 million. Michael Bloomberg, $96 billion. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Now, besides these men being ultra famous, super rich, what else do these men have in common? What else do these ultra famous, ultra rich men have in common? I'll give you a second. I'll give you 2 seconds. Time's up. Anyway. Yes, you're correct. All of these men I just mentioned and more are 5'7" or under. Yes, they stand 5 feet tall and 7 inches or less. You don't believe me? Okay, Kevin Hart, 5'3", bro. He's 5'3". Mark Wahlberg, 5'7". Tom Cruise, 5'7". Michael Bloomberg, 5'7". Bruno Mars, 5'5". Okay? Now, probably gonna say, okay, what's your point, Joe? Where are you going with this? Okay, these men are so quote unquote short. What is your point? My point is, when I mention these names, when you first heard me say these names, what was the first thing that comes to your mind? I can guarantee you, it was not their height. Nothing about these men scream short. When I mentioned maybe Kevin Hart, because he joked about his height, but nobody gonna call him short because it's $450 million. People gonna call him a comedian, a movie star, entrepreneur. Mark Wahlberg, a movie star, entrepreneur. All of these. Michael Bloomberg, financials. Bruno Mars, musician. All of these names. Not once you call them by their height. Now, I'm saying this to say, I say that to say this. I myself is 5'7". Not once I consider myself 5'7". You know why? Because my value is not connected to my height. My value is not determined by my height. I don't see myself at 5'7". I don't see myself as a short king. Oh, that hit home. Next time I get bored and I'll surf like the internet, I'll go on Facebook or Instagram and I'll notice these young men doing these street interviews. And they'll go to a female prospect and they'll ask them this question: do you date short kings? Oh my God. Would you give a short kings a chance? Or what's the minimum height requirement? Would you date a man? Let me tell you something. If you call yourself a king and you put short after it, or you say short, you put a king after it, no. It does not count. And don't you think these women already see that you're short? I think the better question should be, do you date broke niggas? Yeah. Do you date broke niggas? Because I can guarantee you women do not give a fuck about your height. I'm going to tell you this again. Women do not care about your height. It's your value that you bring. Okay? They can already see you're 5'7". You can already see you're 5'5". You're 5'3". Do you have value though? Okay? The only time they'll care about your height is they see you have nothing else to offer. He at least has to be 6 foot. He at least has to be 6 foot. So the question is, what value do you bring to these ladies' life, man? Don't think your height is determined by your value. It does not. What else you have to offer? What's your bank account look like? What's your value? What do people know you by? What's your status level? Okay? If you comparing your status to your height, then you'll never grow. And that's what pun included. Yes, you will never fucking grow. Because your height is determined by your value. Your value is determined by your height. Don't let that happen. Women don't care about your height. Don't let them say, or 6 foot. No. They don't, bro. You need to figure out what else you gotta bring to these girls. When you approach them, when they see the sweat, they see the confidence, that's what they're gonna judge you by. Because you know what? Women judge by what they hear. When you talk to them, do they notice your confidence level? Can they sense that status coming out your mouth? Even if you're not flashing, but can they sense it? Can they hear the confidence, the swag? Can they sense that? Can they hear that you can take care of them in the future? Can you hear? Can they hear the value coming out your mouth? Bro, they can already see your height. They don't care about your height. Trust me. Don't let a female trick you to make you think they care about your height, because they don't. It's value. If you're broke, then yes, your height matters. Okay, that's when your height matters. But if you don't have any other values, they'll never take you seriously, man. When you mention these names, man, none of them will. Oh, nope. I guarantee you, no girl in their life will be like, oh no, I can't live the life. I can't date this guy because their height is the reason. When I mention fucking Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg, Bruno Mars, Tom Cruise, bro, movie stars, comedians, entrepreneurs, that's what comes to mind. Value. These guys can take care of them. They can give them the life they want. They desire. They don't give a fuck about your height. Stop getting tricked into thinking that women care about your height. No, they don't, bro. And I know some people are like, oh, well, it's because, because you're short, blah, blah. Come on, bro. You need money. You just need value. You need swag. You need a mouthpiece. Okay? That's all you need. Don't let your height determine your value, dog. You're cutting yourself short. Anyway, that's all I gotta say today, man. So I hope you guys enjoy this shit. Anyway, until next time, alright? You hear me? Peace.